Hey friends, vinyl community, music lovers. Welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where I take 5 albums from my inbox that are new to me, clean them up, give them a listen, and let you know what I thought of them and let you know whether they're going in the collection or going away. So let's just go ahead and get into it. First thing we have here is the 33rd album from Herbie Hancock. This is titled Light Me Up from 1982. Of course, Herbie Hancock is a jazz pianist, but this album was interesting. The songs on here are composed by Rod Temperton, who at the time was working with people like Michael Jackson, sort of doing that very poppy, disco-y, dancey sort of music. So this is not jazzy at all. This is very poppy, it has that very steady, disco-y sort of beat to it. It's almost trying to be like a sort of a dancey, boppy, sort of poppy kind of music, and I did not like this at all. I thought it being a Herbie Hancock album, I'm gonna love this, and I put it on, and it was just that din 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 din, just that steady rhythmic beat. I mean, I to be honest, I don't even really like Michael Jackson's the Thriller sort of time period stuff. I mean, it's classic, but I don't love it. It's not something I go to listen to. It's just very... I find it kind of boring and not that interesting musically. I mean, the songs are great, the lyrics are fun, but just musically, it's usually not that interesting to me, and that's the way I found this. I found this very, very boring. Yeah, I was not happy with this. It's not gonna be staying. It's on the Columbia label there, and this has TMLX. So this was on the third lathe at the mastering lab. Not sure any pressing plant info on here, but yeah, Herbie Hancock's Light Me Up, very poppy, very. It's just very boring to me. It's almost like Rod Temperton gave all his good stuff to Michael Jackson, and what was left over he gave to Herbie Hancock. And so this album just didn't do much for me. So this is not going to be making it into the collection, surprisingly. Okay, the next album we have up on the chopping block here. This is the 16th album from Elton John, titled Jump Up, from 1982 as well. We're staying in 1982 here. Definitely a very 80s sounding Elton John album. This is very sort of when he's, heavy piano riffing and, sort of crocodile rock sort of sound there, and has sort of that sound for him. And overall, this record gets panned a lot. A lot of people don't like it, don't really care for it. It does have the hit song Blue Eyes, as well as Empty Garden for John Lennon. But overall, I really like this album. I mean, Legal Boys is good, I'm Your Robot, All Quiet on the Western Front is good. It's a good album overall. I mean, I like it quite a bit. I actually bought this in Milwaukee at Exclusive Company. That's it. This came from the Exclusive Company in Milwaukee. Came out of their 99-cent bin. It was sealed when I got it, so I'm the first person to listen to it. It was cool to be able to open this up and be the first person to play it. Have a nice, very clean, minty copy of this. Go ahead and show you the inner sleeve here. Fun, definitely very 80s, very much 80s looking stuff here. Very nice inner sleeve. And at this point, Elton is on Geffen Records. And this is mastered by Greg Fugaltini at Artisan Mastering. Supposedly, I did some research on him. Supposedly, does pretty good work mastering. I think this album sounds good myself. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And there is also a rifle in the dead wax, so it was pressed at the Winchester pressing plant. I thoroughly enjoyed this album. I know it gets panned by critics and some fans. It's not at all that 70s sort of rock and roll Elton John. This is very much the 80s pop Elton John, just fun, but it doesn't have that sort of rhythmic sort of drum machine sound like Light Me Up does. More piano, rock and roll, almost like a modern day sort of Jerry Lee Lewis or something. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It is definitely going in my collection. I tend to keep Elton John albums, whether I like them or not. Anyway, I tend to like at least one or two songs on all of them. So this is a good one to me. All right, next up, moving on to 1990, and this is the soundtrack to the movie House Party. Kid and Play. See some of the track listings there. This is on Motown Records. And yeah, you got Force MDs, Full Force Family, Lisa and the Cult Jam, UTFO, Flavor Flav, Kid and Play, LL Cool J. Yeah, just sort of that late 80s, early 90s hip-hop sort of thing. A very, very popular soundtrack. But overall, this is not a keeper for me. I enjoyed listening to it. It's really not the kind of hip-hop I get into. It's kind of a bad period in my opinion. Didn't do much for me. It was fun to listen to, but I just didn't, overall I didn't enjoy it. So that is not making it in the collection. And this has a blue sticker, so I believe that's, what is blue? It's either 50 or 75 cents from the library book sale. I don't know where I used to have a cheat sheet around here. I don't know where that went. I have to look that up. Okay, next up we have a 12-inch single from 1995. This is from the soundtrack Panther, and this is The Points. Features all these artists here, as you see. It's sort of the hip-hop version of We Are the World, I guess you could say, even though it's not really for Africa or hunger or anything, but it just has that sort of very sort of same sound to it. Each person gets a very short verse. And it's interesting to hear, but this has like 5 different mixes of the song, and I actually have this soundtrack on CD, so I don't really feel the need to keep this 12-inch. I didn't find any of the alternate versions that interesting. You know, the original is fine to me, and I can hear it on CD, so there's no need for me to keep this one. So yeah, that's The Points. Show you the wax here. It's on Mercury Records. It has CSB in the dead wax. I have to find out who CSB is. I guess they're known for mastering hip-hop albums. Actually, this House Party album had CSB in the dead wax as well. Let me go ahead and quickly see if I can figure out who CSB is so we can talk about them in the future. Okay, so CSB is Carlton Batts. I can't find any information about where he worked, what mastering plane he worked at or anything, but Carlton Batts, are you out there? Moving on, the last and final album we have up on the chopping block today, something quite comical, but fun to have, fun to listen to, and that is Freedom Rock. And so if you were alive in the late 80s and watching TV, I'm sure you saw the commercials for this. It's Sessions presents Freedom Rock. Hey man, is that Freedom Rock? Well, turn it up. You know, just a compilation of a lot of 70s rock and roll stuff. The Byrds, Tall, Santana, Deep Purple, Jefferson Airplane, America, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Allman Brothers, Guess Who, Three Dog Night, Cream, Moody Blues, just, you know, on and on and on. But a pretty good compilation, 4 LP set. I believe there's 40 songs on here, you know, 5 on each side, so it's done well. It's not all crammed on, you know, 10 on each side like some of those other ones were. Pretty nicely done. The sounds pretty good on these. I was pretty happy with the sound quality on these. There it is. Sessions Freedom Rock. So yeah, I bought this at the library sale. It's $2.50. This is another one that came from the record store that closed. Sharps. And yeah, just a fun thing to put on. And this is a fun thing to put on now in the summertime if you just want to, you know, hear a bunch of cool classic rock. This is a good one to put on, so I'm actually going to be keeping this. I bought this as kind of a joke when I found it at the library sale. I kind of chuckled and just grabbed it, you know, just impulse bought it just to say, I gotta buy this, and it's a fun one, and I'm gonna keep it for now. I think it's fun, a fun listen. Like I said, it sounds pretty good. And yeah, if you find this cheap, go ahead and grab it. It's an enjoyable listen, and you know, this time of year when we're getting close to the 4th of July and grilling out and that kind of thing, this is perfectly good to put on right now. So I want to thank you all for watching another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. I guess we got, geez, only 2 made it this time, 3 didn't, so not that fruitful of an episode, but that's how it goes sometimes. Can't all be winners. And I want to thank you all for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.